At this moment in time, we will have a moment of silence and reflection, I would say, for those who have served our armed services. I'm sorry that I cannot be with you in person. I'm acting command chaplain for submarine base New London, Connecticut, which is the largest submarine base in the world. And yesterday I had an opportunity to go through the chapel and see all of the submarines that were lost in World War I and II, thousands of people that we've never heard about. So let's just remember their families and the generations of those persons who served our country and they're no longer here. Let's please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Our Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. McCray, if you will call roll call.
Dr. Johnson?
Here.
Mr. Costa? Ms. Gaines? Ms. Headley? Ms. Henderson? Ms. Jones? Mr. De La Osa?
Present.
Ms. Tate?
Present.
Mrs. Ziegler?
Present.
Mr. Carrington? Ms. Lazarus? Ms. Martinez?
Here.
And Ms. White?
Present.
I believe quorum has been established. Thank you all for your presence tonight. At this time, we will allow for public comment. Those of you that are in the audience, please approach the podium. You have 3 minutes. If you will, talk in the microphone and introduce yourself for public record.
Good evening, board members, community leaders, and residents of East Tampa. My name is Parker Quantz, and I come before you not as a developer, but as the youngest member of a family who has owned land in the Grant Park community for over 3 decades. Our land does not just serve as a parcel on a map, but a symbol of our commitment, our patience, and our belief in East Tampa's future. We are not here to beg, nor are we here to bully people into giving us money. We are simply here to give back to a community that has given us so much love and respect for over 30 years. This project was never meant to be about profit. It was and still is about partnership, for it is simply not possible without the CRA's assistance. When we first approached the CRA, it was with open hands and open hearts, believing we shared a common mission to uplift East Tampa, to strengthen our neighborhoods, and to preserve affordability before it's priced out of reach. Somewhere along the way, our shared mission began to feel like a one-sided conversation. We have a plan that is reasonable and, most importantly, doable, not in 5 to 10 years, but in 1 to 2. With the CRA's support, we can break ground not just on units, but on opportunity. I also understand that without support, East Tampa will continue to be developed, but not necessarily by or for the people who live here. We have a chance right now to do it the right way. As B referred to our project as homegrown, and I can tell you that this project is as homegrown as it gets. From my father purchasing the first property in 1987 to us standing in front of you today, trying to continue to build what he started. I ask everyone tonight, what legacy do we want to leave? Will we look back and say we stood by while families were pushed out and priced out? Or will we say we stood with those families and made it possible for them to stay and thrive? I'm not here to ask for charity. I'm asking for courage. Courage to invest in what's right. Courage to partner with those who have waited patiently. And courage to put community first, not just in words, but in action. My goal is to turn our land into a landmark of hope, love, and home. Thank you all.
You still have 1 minute. Oh.
That's all I had. I just, in respect for time, I wanted to share that with you all before we give our presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Is there anyone else? Thank you, Ms. Tate. Who's doing the timekeeping? Is that Ebony or Miss Tate?
Miss Tate.
I'll be doing it.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh.
We have an on-screen timer.
All right, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Wanda Torres. I am I work for FAMA, the Faith Action Ministry Alliance. We work specifically in the Grant Park neighborhood. We also branched into the Highland Pines and whatnot, but today I'm going to actually speak to you about Grant Park. I've been there for 4 years. However, FAMA has been working in the community for the past 10 years. And although we have entrenched ourselves in the community, we do understand that there is partnerships that need to be made to be able to impact the community, especially one that is statistically overrun by the Black and brown. That is at Grant Park. Right now, although when I first started, it was at 83% Black and the rest mixed in with brown and whites. Now it's gone a little bit shifty. It's gone to about 53% Black. Another 25% or so Hispanic, and then the rest is a mixture of whatever else is there is, right? So we do this work because we love the community, and I assume that y'all are just of like mind. But what I do see now, even though we partnered with the New Testament Worship Center, who has been there for years, we've partnered recently with the Kluntz family, who has the strip mall right there on 50th and MLK. There is still a lot of work to be done. The development that we are seeing is development coming from people who aren't even there, who don't know what the people need, who don't see what the struggles are on a daily basis. I, however, for the past 4 years have. We see a huge homeless issue that does not seem to fix itself. And the only thing we can see is maybe having something a little bit more affordable, whether it be, well, I mean, we can't really change the price of food, can we? But the struggle is real. And if we can make something as a community with your support, as something like affordable housing, or maybe even just a park that they can respectfully enjoy themselves with, I think we can make an impact in a positive direction and not really depend on the people coming from the outside, not knowing what's going on the inside of Grant Park. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, board members. Hello, everybody. So my name is Jason Rickmans. I'm a local rehabber and developer. I work here in the Tampa Bay area. There's a growing crisis with people that are losing their properties due to property taxes, probate issues, code enforcement violations, homes can't pass 4-point inspections, and also probate issues. I put together a workshop. It's going to be August the 26th on a Wednesday from 6 to 8. It's going to be at 2130 West Main Street at Cohatch, and just discussing helping people keep their homes if they want to keep their homes, and if they want to sell without having to lose the profits of the city or to violations and stuff like that. They can come to this workshop. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Pastor Deborah Camillus, and I am part of the Grant Park community. And I can tell you from experience, we've got some people in the community that I don't know if you guys are familiar with the rent and what's going on, but it's sky high. And if we were to have the affordable living, which is going to be presented tonight, that would be extremely beneficial for the people of our community. We've got a great community. We got a great community that wants to see things really come up to a higher level. I know that some would look at the community and say they're poverty and they don't have a whole lot going for them, but I can tell you this, they got heart, and we want to join together and cause things to happen. And so that's the reason I wanted to just come and share. The affordable living would be huge for our neighborhood and for our community. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for your time. Next.
Good evening, board members. Just two quick announcements from the CDC of Tampa. On Saturday, August 9th, we'll be hosting a Reclaiming Your Family Legacy. We really want to make sure that families have wills and trusts to maintain their property so they can transfer that generational wealth on. That will be Saturday, August the 9th from 10 to 2 p.m. at the CDC of Tampa, located at 1907 East Hillsborough Avenue. And then we also will be having on Tuesday, August the 12th, a Home Matters program, which will be providing rainwater harvesting workshops. I believe we may be providing rain barrels as well to really teach people how to preserve the water and save on water techniques. That's August the 12th from 5:30 to 7:30 at the CDC of Tampa, 1907 East Hillsborough Avenue.
Thank you.
Good evening, Allison Hewitt, third generation Tampa resident and business owner. I want to talk about some processes that we need to make sure that we're paying attention to. One, the CRP, Community Development Plan. That is what guides all of our economic development. As you can see, one of the best examples is Channelside. They had the plan, they followed the plan. My concern is as we are doing these projects, who is trying to measure that plan and also measuring the new plan that will be before you to see and make sure that it is working within what the overall plan is. Now, the new CRP, I'm very concerned about that. It does not, so far, any drafts that we've seen reflect what we did before to see if it was worked and see if we should continue in that direction or if the new direction is what's correct. Also, I want to talk a little about transparency and consistency. So there was a matrix that was approved in January on how much funding were per unit. And so now if you take what was approved last week per unit and you calculate that with what is on your agenda today, it is not the same. I ask that you ask for some kind of transparency and understanding on why is it different. I know it says up to 100,000 for 80%, 250 for 60%, and another 300,000 for 30%, but it says up to. I think you, as being the people are responsible for monitoring this and making recommendations to the CRA, that you know what that up to means. What, when the staff reviews it, what are the checklists that go before it to say what this project gets more, this project gets less, even though it's still affordable housing. I also want to make sure that I bring to your attention that this grant application process is very flexible because you start one way and then the next time they change the rules without changing the policy. And so before you had to apply, and now if you have a mixed use project, you got to apply for housing with a separate application for commercial. Again, putting a lot of burden on those developers who are local and trying to do it, and putting a lot more extra for the people who have money who are coming here and trying to develop our community. So I'm just trying to ask you to ask for some transparency and consistency in this grant policy.
30 seconds.
Forward.
Thank you. Are there any more public comments?
Yes, hello. I'm Pastor Alfred Johnson. I'm with the Faith Action Ministry Alliance over in Grant Park. We do a bunch of work over there and a bunch of surveying to find out what the felt needs of the community is and are. And one thing that we know that we need over there, we do have our dear lady that owns the corner store right there in Grant Park. She's done a wonderful job of beautifying that, and then she owns some of the vacant property right next to it. Just going door to door and also speaking with the neighbors, and we're in intimate conversation with them. This is not something that's loose. We don't just send out mails. No, we're right there in their presence. We know that they are desiring some good affordable housing over there in the Grant Park area. The median income there, is quite low. The combination of Grant Park and Highland Pines is among the lowest in the county. So we need some help over there. And I'm looking to partner with, I'm excited to work with her to make these changes over there in Grant Park, these improvements. All right, again, Pastor Alfred Johnson with the Faith Action Ministry Alliance. This is what we do. and a lot of work. I started a private school over there in Grant Park. We are well vested in that area. There's a bunch of stuff we're doing, and this is going to be a great addition. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any more public comments? Mr. McCray,
Yes, sir.
are there any more public comments?
No, sir.
All right. Audience, those of you that are listening, please allow me to say thank you for allowing me to chair this meeting virtually and having your undivided attention. I really do appreciate that. Number 4 involves our action items. The first thing is approval of June 3rd, 2025 meeting minutes. Is there a motion on the floor to accept the approval of those minutes?
Yes. Fran Tate. I make a motion. Fran Tate makes a motion to approve the minutes of the June 3rd, 2025 meeting.
Is there a second?
Carrington, second.
All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. So the minutes from June 3rd have been approved. At this time, we need to elect a vice chair. Our vice chair had to resign a few months ago, and so we need to elect a vice chair. Mr. McCray, if you will help lead this process as you are in the room. At this moment in time, are there any nominations for vice chair?
Chair, I'd like to nominate Ms. DaCosta as vice chair.
All right, there has been a nomination from member Carlos De Leosa to nominate Ms. Ebony DaCosta as vice chair. Ms. DaCosta, do you accept that nomination?
I do.
It has been accepted. Are there any other nominations for vice chair? Being there are none, let's do a roll call vote. Mr. McCray?
Ms. Jones? Ms. Martinez? Ms. Lazarus?
Yes.
Ms. Hedler? Mr. Carrington? Ms. Henderson?
Yes.
Ms. Ziegler? Ms. White?
Affirmative.
Ms. Tate?
Affirmative.
Ms. DaCosta?
Yes.
Dr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. De La Osa?
Yes.
The vote is unanimous.
Thank you, Mr. Costa. At this moment in time, Mr. McCray, should I turn the meeting over? Congratulations. Thank you. First of all. Thank you for your service. We're going to turn the meeting over to Mr. Costa as she would chair for the rest of the meeting.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. We will move on to the remainder of our meeting and start off with our presentations. First presentation is going to be Memorial Park Cemetery from Corey Robinson.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for having me. Corey Robinson, Arts and Cultural Project Coordinator, Tampa CRA. I come today with an update. The CAC had requested that staff look into the restoration of the Memorial Cemetery Monument. We hired a arts conservator that's done a lot of work in the area, that's restored a lot of monuments in the city. RLA conservators to come out and assess the damage on the monument. In your packet, you will see the estimate that the detailed estimate of work that they will be doing to the monument. It does need some work. They are a great company. They do a lot of work globally. So their estimate came back as $13,290. I am here today to request funding for $15,000, just with a contingency, just in case anything comes up while restoring it. And this would be a project that can get started pretty quickly. They're out of Miami, so they have people ready to work on this. So I would just need a vote to move forward with this restoration process and the funding from the CAC.
Okay, thank you, Corey. Okay, committee, all of you should have that information within the packet, which Mr. McRae supplied us with. Are we okay to move forward with voting, or are there any follow-up, and we can make sure that we touch everyone in regards to that?
Yes.
Michael, I have a question. You said he's out of Miami. If something should happen, I'd hate to see it like the monument they have at 21st and 22nd, that once they established it, there was nobody locally that could repair it. But do we have this guarantee, or are we gonna have to bring these people back up here? If something happens to that monument, are they the ones that are gonna have to come back here to replace or do whatever? Or are we gonna have somebody trained here and staff that can handle the repairs or anything if needed?
From what they're telling me is that once it's repaired, it should last for quite some time. It shouldn't need more.
Another
work.
100 years, 50 years?
I would say I don't know exactly a year, but more than 10, I'm sure. They restore like a lot of very intricate things all over the world. They're like working in different countries, like being hired to really, but so it shouldn't be like in a year from now we're paying another $10,000 for them to repair it. There should be like they'll provide like a maintenance plan to like for cleaning it and things like that we can provide to the Parks Department, and because they maintain the property, but it should last for quite some time. It should not be a yearly restoration.
Okay, I just want to make sure it's not going to be the same thing that happened at Perry Harvey Park, where we had to. It was a process to get somebody back here to fix those glass panes that were in that park.
They were vandalized. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Mr. Carrington, and then Ms. Tate.
Hey, Mimi, can you pass the mic? Mimi?
Here it is. It's couple.
Yeah, that one on that side, if you don't mind. Okay, Mr. Robinson, first, thank you for the very detailed report. I think I read through everything. I just have two quick questions, right? So did we look at potentially elevating it any or keeping it where it is now, the same elevation? So we're not looking at an additional base. And did we consider relocating it to a more prominent location within Memorial Park?
Good evening again, Colonel Carrington. So one of the previous meetings when we were having discussions related to the monument and either potentially elevating, and the concern at that point in time, if we went higher or more vertical, we would have to broaden the base, which would intrude on the existing grave sites that were there. Okay. There potentially may be another location at play, but the direction from the CAC at that time was to rehab the current monument in its existing state. So that's what we had communicated with Parks and Recreation, and Mr. Robinson has been working with them to bring this to fruition. And I just want to highlight in the budget, if you're looking at it, we do have some operating funds remaining from the fencing last year. And so that amount would be coming from the Memorial Park Cemetery budget line item.
Okay, so thank you. And I think this is a good news story. So I appreciate the update.
Okay, thank you, Corey Fran Tate, Jackson Heights Neighborhood Association. I just had one question, and maybe I missed it. Was there no one in the city that could take on this project?
So They have done work in the city. They've repaired a lot of the sculptures during storm damage and different monuments, so they came highly recommended. The quote that I don't know who was that the county quote that you had gotten previously?
Initially, yes.
And initially, it was a quote from the county that was like much higher than this estimate coming back, and probably because they're like specifically monument and art handlers, they're going to do probably the best job. Unfortunately, we don't have an in-town art conservator. There's not too many. It's not the most booming business. But so that's why we went with RLA. It's someone that the city's used before, and they've been a vendor with us.
Okay, the city has used them before. Do you have any idea what, so I can just drive by and take a look at something that they did, in the past?
They've actually come out and to assess the mural at in Central Park. That's on
Perry Harvey?
Kid Mason.
Oh.
That mural, they've come out to assess that. Currently, they've been working to repair the Agam statue on Bayshore that was damaged during, it was damaged during multiple storms. So they fixed it a few times. Different pieces of it have failed. So they've repaired that. I'm trying to think of what else. The Arts and Culture Department uses them a lot during storm damage too. Yeah, those are the two on the top of my head. I actually met them at Kid Mason to talk about that mural restoration, so as well.
Okay, thank you.
It's gonna. Can you hear? Yeah, it's gonna piggyback off of what Ms. Tate said. What was the process for acquiring the quote? Is there a process? Do you have to get, after going over a certain amount, are you required to get 3 to 5 bids to make a decision? So I'd like to know what that process is, how they were chosen, because a quick Google search gave me some options, and Yelp is offering 10 different options that are the best. So I tend to agree in terms of seeking out local help. We have tons of artists here, and we have the Art Museum and we have the History Museum. So I too am a little baffled as to why we're using a Miami-based organization. That's the first thing. So I know you're not going to be able to give that to me today, but I sure would like to see what that process was.
So I can touch on that a little bit.
Okay.
Because this is in the city's inventory and the CRA doesn't actually maintain the property, the Arts and Cultural Department, it's in their portfolio. So they are the ones that suggested who we use to restore it. We're just funding the operations, essentially.
Yeah, but there's got to be a policy in place in terms of when you're looking at this type of funding, even though you're requesting it from CRA funding, there has to be a policy in place in terms of process. So I'd like to know what that process is when you're securing these types of organizations.
I can't really touch on that at this time.
Okay, like I said, I'm welcome to take it after the meeting or a week later, whenever we can get that information would be great.
Okay.
Aftercare, I heard you mention a maintenance plan, and so that maintenance plan is going to be provided in this contract for the restoration. Is that correct?
Yes, they will provide a maintenance plan to like keep it clean and like what we can do to like keep the upkeep on it, and we can give that plan to Parks.
Okay, I'd like to see that also. I wish that it was included so that we understand what that timeline looks like. And is there a warranty with the restoration work?
I'm not sure about the warranty. I just can say that I don't think that it's going to fail anytime soon.
We never know.
Yeah, that's true.
We never know. So yeah, definitely, again, something else, if you can get that to me, I'd really love to see that. The warranty, the maintenance plan, aftercare, and then you're going to get me the process. I think other than that, of course, I'm in 110 support of this particular project. I know that there was talk of moving it. I know we talked about elevating it. I understand the challenges with elevating. We're going to disturb graves that are there, especially since there's 15,000 unmarked graves on that site that nobody wants to address or talk about. So I'm appreciative that you're going to keep it where it is. Thank you for that. And then in terms of a second memorial, I'm not so sure that I'm in agreement with that. I'm going to put that on the table right now, so it's on public record. I really want this to be the focus. It's unfortunate we can't go higher because that really needs to be a focal point. Thank you for your time.
Any other questions or comments in regards to Memorial Park Cemetery update.
Yes, Mr. Costa, I have two questions, just simple questions. Corey, thank you for your time, sir. Just from a mobilization standpoint, how quickly are you going to be able to mobilize to move forward once we agree?
They have told me that they are ready to move and they can start getting us on the schedule like ASAP.
Okay. And then from start to finish, how long of a project is this?
They said it would take 2 to 3 days.
All right, perfect. Excellent. That's all I have. Thank you.
Dr. Johnson, anything? No? Just double check.
Not on this subject. No,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. Are we okay to vote or do we require further follow-up?
Oh. I'd like to see follow-up.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else?
Since we've got the money in the budget left over from doing the fence work. And I think we should I was just gonna make the motion that we go ahead and approve this company to do the restoration of the monument, since we've got the money in the budget that's been left over from doing the fence around the Memorial Park Cemetery. And I think if they do good work, come highly recommended, and the county quote was much higher, I think I make the recommendation, we just move it, the motion to move ahead and just select this company.
I'll second that motion.
My concern was, and the reason why Andrea White voted the way it is, because there are additional plans for that cemetery besides just this monument. So we need to consider, we have the money, but we also have additional plans that were laid out as in adjacent to what is being planned for this portion right here. So that was what my concern is, that if we could all kind of like look at what the overall total plan is going to be to restore, even fixing the fences that have been destroyed currently out there, is the reason for let's make sure we get everything done that's supposed to be done at that cemetery. Thank you.
Mr. McCray.
Fran Tate.
Oh, sorry. It's me. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ms.
Okay, Fran Tate. I think Miss Andrea made a suggestion. She probably meant a motion. And I think we need to get that off the table before we address Ms. Ziegler's motion, because we're getting a little confused in here. I can support Ms. Henderson's ask for more data, and I can support Ms. White's ask for more data. I think we got to clear that off the floor before we can go ahead and address Ms. Ziegler's motion. Am I, Director McCray?
No, that's not necessarily correct. To ask for that information, it will come through the form of a motion.
Right.
The motion that has been established on the floor is what has precedence. They requested information. So if you want to stop a vote, you stop it in the place of a motion for everyone to be able to agree on, asking for that information, and then this will be a continuance.
Ms. White? Andrea White, what I said before, I'm making it and turning it into a motion that we have the process procedure. What I requested be what we put before the table to vote on. Hopefully that's clear.
Can I say something real quick? I'm ready to move forward. Just so you know, I just want the information for later. So I want that understood. I am totally ready to move forward with the vote. It will be in support of moving forward with giving the funding. I just really want these questions answered and provided to me for future reference. So I just want that to be made clear.
Not to cut you off, Ms. DaCosta, Mr. McCray, could you make sure that staff is directed to do that? Anything that comes forward looking for a vote, that there are at least 3 different options that have been explored first, and that information is brought to us so we can make sure that there hasn't been anything done scrupulous, not saying that there is or we're giving any favors to anyone, but that process was followed. that it will be the pleasure of the committee that they would like to see at least 3 different invoices come forward first to make the best informed decision on pricing.
As well as the remaining work that's being planned or thought of for that cemetery as well, to complete it.
I just would like to ask Ben, what this additional work in the cemetery to be completed, and also, and the second question is, why is the fence keep getting destroyed?
Can you speak a little louder?
Oh, I'm sorry. So my two questions were, what is the additional work plan for the cemetery? I'm just curious. And second, who or why is the fence keep getting damaged?
Andrea White, I wish I could tell you because I asked the same question about streets, highways, everything that needs to be repaired within the city or county limits. The additional work or whatever that was submitted was that this cemetery, we don't even have the marble sign that used to be on the outside of that fence that noted that this is memorial, this is the cemetery. What was asked was that there be a formal road condition that instead of you dipping in and out, because what they're doing is filling that road in, entering and exiting is just a dirt road. So when it rains or anything, you've got potholes in there. When it comes down to the entranceway, it was suggested that you have an archway denoting that this is historical and not just a fence sitting there with no signage or anything on there, that it be properly done with an entranceway notating that it is historical, landmark, cemetery, whatever you want to put it in. And that's what I was talking about when I said, let's look at the overall. Okay, we can do that. And why does the fence get destroyed? Cars are on 22nd and MLK 24/7. It's been hit from the rear side, it's been hit in the front, and the bars are being stretched. I don't know what's going on, but it's no different than any other cemetery. It's just very noticeable now because we have a new fence up there at that part. I mean, at that cemetery, it's not a park.
Thank you. I just want to notate, and I think we've also had this conversation, Mr. McCray. We still have funds in the operating and capital outlay budget for other things to be done. Right now, the priority of what we're focusing about is we tasked Corey to come back with us with estimates and information so that we can start making some progress and actually seeing something and moving forward. So that's what we need to focus on the task at hand. So there's been a motion on the floor and we need to make a decision on that and then move forward. And yes, Memorial Park Cemetery is near and dear to our heart. And I can assure you, you have my commitment, and I'm sure a lot of my committee members will concur that we will address everything that needs to be addressed there. It is a process, and we will make sure that we follow that thoroughly. So with that being said, can we go ahead and we'll just start with Ms. Jones as far as making a motion in agreement or vote in regards to, can I actually get a second motion? I'm sorry, guys. Okay, second. Okay, it has a second. I'm sorry. Thank you.
So the motion was made. I just want to make sure because initially the first motion was Ms. Ziegler, and second by Mr. De La Hosa.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
All right. Moving along, we'll be moving on to our next presentation of the evening, which is 3812. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. First day on the job, guys. Thank you. All right. So let's go ahead and get a vote. I ask for your grace today. And then we'll make sure we get it online as well. So we'll start with you, Ms. Jones, and then go around the table. Okay. Yes. Ms. Martinez, Ms. Lazarus,
Yes.
Ms. Headland, Mr. Carrick, yes. Ms.
Yes.
Henderson, Ms. Ziegler.
Yes, with the provision we fix the other necessary things.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Frantate. Yes. And Ms. Acosta, yes. And then online, if we can get Dr. Johnson.
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Carlos De La Hosa.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, and I will get you that. Oh, sorry. I will get you that other information as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All righty. Greetings. Happy Tuesday. The Parks Community Development Coordinator. I'm here to introduce our next presentation. They were here last month. You guys had some questions. They're coming back to answer those. The memo was included in the packet. And just to just start this conversation, this presentation is referencing only the affordable housing request. I know last month there were some questions about the strip mall, but this one is just about the request. So I just ask if we could, just pay attention to the request tonight. So yeah, you could come on up. The client's property has applied for developer subsidy an amount of 2.5, but I did counter with a $1.2 million subsidy for them for 100K per unit. They are producing 12 affordable housing units in Grand Park, and they'll go through the details now. Okay, yeah, you can do it.
So you guys got the clicker, so you guys
Okay, Parker will do that. I just passing these out. I'll pass them out. Parker has some. Here, there's some more. There's some more.
Yep. You're all set.
Okay. Hello again. My name is Cynthia Clance Garcia, and this is my son Parker. Back there, I have another one of my sons that came to support us today. Oh, I don't have a pocket. I'll just hold it. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for allowing us to come back to present our affordable housing project. You heard from some members of the community. We've done a lot of community outreach, and we're here today to represent our program for affordable housing. What we're presenting today is 12 affordable units, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, ADA compliant with on-site parking as well as laundry facilities. We know there is an ongoing shortage of affordable housing in Grant Park. We also, if you remember, own the plaza on the corner of Martin Luther King and 50th. And since our last meeting, we are proud to say that our plaza is now full with 7 viable businesses, reaching out to members of the community, seeing what they want to see. And we put 7 good businesses along with my son's business in there to try to stimulate some economic development in Grant Park. What we're looking at today and the information that we took back from the last meeting is obviously we are required to stay at 80% of the AMI based on the federal housing standards. But based on the last meeting and what the actual need for the community would be, we have ran our numbers and we are going to do 1/3 of our units. We only have 12. Will be at 50% of the AMI, no higher, and at actually 30% of the AMI. Go ahead. This is our timeline. We've moved it back a little bit based on trying to secure some support from the CRA. So we've moved our timeline back, but we would be looking for a tenant move in January of 2027. Again, the same people that are involved in the project are the same that we presented last time. And here is our estimated construction costs. It includes obviously our engineering costs, our architectural costs, our site prep, the land acquisition to the CRA, which I'm not a professional at this. I did not include that in the actual percentage of the funding we are asking for, but this is our land. So we would be including that in the actual total cost. So if you look at what we are asking for today, we're only asking for from the CRA 34.2% of the total cost. The rest of that would come from us, or lack of better. Go ahead and change it. So we did our pro forma, because this was asked. So this is how the numbers came in, working with our engineers. We've already developed a site plan, working with the architects. So the source of funds of the owner equity, which would be our cash and our land, is 1.1. I'm working currently with Suncoast Schools Federal Credit Union to secure a loan for 1.2, and the CRA funds requested would be 1.2, which would bring us to the total of the 3.5. So again, our owner equity, no other, asking for nothing else from any other entity. Our owner equity investment in this is 66%. We are vested in this community. I have pledged to put up our plaza to make this happen. I don't know what else to tell you, but that's how vested we are. We have reached out. One thing that you asked of us, even though we are legacy owners of 30 years and we have engaged in the community, we've reached out to these different organizations. We've participated in their Human Touch Tour. We've participated in their Freedom Fest. We've participated in their association meetings. We've gathered information. My son actually interviewed Pastor Johnson, who was nice enough to come tonight to speak on behalf of the residents of Grant Park and the needs of Grant Park. And we have a QR code if you want to see that interview that kind of delves in more to what these residents need and what they ask for. This is, and they brought with them today, the Faith Action Ministries Alliance, who does do a lot of work in Grant Park. And if you have any questions about this area or Highland Pines or Palmetto, these are the people to go to. And I'm proud to say that we have partnered with them. This Friday, we're doing a health hub, and we partnered with them. We have Advent mobile mammography bus. We also have Baycare coming out, and we're going to provide drinks and snacks. And from 10 to 1, the residents of Highland Pines and Grant Park will be able to come and take care of things that a lot of times people in underserved communities don't have access to. So the mobile mammography is one, and then in addition, this is what the Grant Park Neighborhood Alliance is doing in connection with FAMA, partnering with Baycare, and we've partnered with them. They're using our vacant lots. They're using our strip center. I promoted this extensively also. So this is just something that we feel is positive, and we want to see a positive change for the community. Now, when you questioned me before on how do we know this is what this community needs? And I looked further into it. I've talked to, her name is Gabrielle. She's a reporter out of USF who does stories on underserved communities. And she directed me, and I didn't know this existed, to the East Tampa Community Redevelopment, a survey that was actually conducted this year. They surveyed 104 individuals broken down, and they collected the surveys January to February, and this was actually published on what does East Tampa need? What do the residents feel that they need? What do the community stakeholders feel they need? And what do the business owners feel they need? So I have a full copy of it if you want to look at it. And I just, go ahead, Mark. I just pulled out, I think, a few pages that were pertinent to a lot of the questions that were asked of me last time on how do we know what East Tampa needs. Well, this survey was done, and I don't know how much access you had to it, but this was published and put out there. Go ahead. One of the main initiatives from the 104 people that responded to the survey was affordable and attainable housing. Go ahead. And this kind of breaks it down, residents versus the community stakeholders. Community stakeholders would be a church organization, government alliance, educational facilities, what have you. Go ahead. So the conclusions of this survey, which was done by the East Tampa Development, was these are the community concerns, which would be your public safety, infrastructure, affordable housing, major challenges in East Tampa. The infrastructure needs, which are your roads, sidewalks, etc. Economic development, which we poured, with the help of the CRA, we've poured a lot of our time and our money into developing this plaza, redeveloping this corner, putting businesses in there that would create some economic development. And if you have a chance, I just encourage you to come by Grant Park, come by our center, and look at what we're doing there. And then obviously affordable housing. Go ahead. This is the same thing I presented you last time. This is our scope of work. This is what it would look like. This is 50th Street. This is North Temple Street. These are the two complexes with parking in the middle. And this is the actual site plan. So all of this has already been done. We've taken the initiative to meet with engineers, to meet with an architect. So this is the commercial building here. And then this is where the affordable housing would be, right next door with the entrance off of the back of Temple Street. This is what it looks like. So this is the plaza. This is 50th. This is Martin Luther King. You have Pepin right here. And then this is the vacant lots. I do want to say we sit right by Pepin Hospitality, which hosts a lot of events. We are a mile and a half from Hard Rock. We're on the major I-4 corridor. Egypt Temple Shrine, within a mile and a half south, just built a big facility. This is a very high profile area also. And I think not only for the residents, but for the city to get this area something to be proud of, which, you know, we're trying really hard to do. And I think we're proving that, and we're putting in a good portion of our own funds to do so. Like my son said earlier, we believe in this community. The community has been very good to us. My husband, before he passed away, had a business in the strip center and did a lot of work in the community. So we're here to create a legacy, and we're here to stay. We're not here to build something and then be gone. We're here to stay. So that's it. Is that the next one? So this is just like the aerial view. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer. Yes, ma'am.
We thank you for your presentation. As you guys definitely, at least for me, you hit on everything that we requested. So we appreciate you coming back and follow up and being thorough and diligent about that. So thank you. What we'll do, since this is all follow up, so we should be familiar with this project from start to finish, and we should have also reviewed this prior to today's meeting. Is go around the table, starting with Ms. Jones, to see if we have any follow-up, if anything needs to be cleared up, follow-up questions before we make any type of motions to move forward.
Thank you for your presentation.
You're welcome.
Hi, welcome
Hi.
back.
Thanks.
Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
I was trying to find how much is the rent going to be? Is that listed somewhere?
Yeah, it's the federal housing. I printed that for y'all if you don't know. It's we have it.
Because I came prepared with some income limits.
Here I have. I also printed some B.
Oh, okay.
You got it. You got it too. You need this one? Yes, ma'am. I'll pass you yours, Miss Lee.
I have some more.
Yeah. So they are restricted to this. So 80%, 50%, 30% on this, the bedroom count, that is the maximum that they can charge for.
Ms. Parks, remember, we can't hear you as you're giving commentary.
Sorry.
Yep, they can't hear you either.
Okay. So what I was just referencing is the income chart from Florida Housing that they have to comply with the 80, 50, 30% AMI based off of the unit, the bedroom count, and then it shows you right there what they're maxed at. So for example, the one bedrooms is maxed at 1565 for 80%. The 50% is maxed at $977 a month, so $977 a month. And then the 30% is maxed at $587 a month for the rents.
And then is that going to be, because I know some projects that is a locked in rate for like 50 years.
For
Is this
50
gonna
years.
be
All of the
locked in?
affordable housing projects that will be presented has the 50-year affordability period to it.
Okay, perfect. And I just had a question in terms of the general contractor. I know you have it listed here who you want to go to, but it also kind of states that you're going to consider others.
Yes.
So I didn't know. So you're still in the process of looking for a contractor? Okay.
Exactly.
Do you have an anticipated, because it's great to see that you're want to make moves on this pretty quickly, and you're anticipating to have completion of January 2027. So I wasn't quite sure like how much in your search for a general contractor will that delay that January 2027 date?
We've talked to a few contractors, but obviously as contractors, they want to make sure that this is something that is locked in for them because it is a commitment and their time. What we have made a financial commitment to are architectural and site plans, and that is expensive. So once those site plans, that's the beginning of it. So that's usually what happens after the funding has been secured. I was proactive, and because I wanted to know, is this going to make sense? Is it going to make sense for us? I'm not a major developer, so I wanted to know that. So in speaking to the architects and the engineers, then you bring that to the contractor, and they bid on the jobs from there. You start with a budget, and if we have a budget like we do, they work within that budget, right? So you have to have a budget. So that's kind of how we kind of came in through the back door to do that. And then concurrently working with Suncoast Schools, securing the additional financing. I do have also, it was asked, I believe the gentleman that was sitting here is proof of the funding. And I didn't include that. If you guys want to see that, I'll be happy to share that with you also.
Awesome. And then, so right behind the vacant lot, there's a lot of single homes.
Yes,
there.
ma'am.
And so
here.
Yep. And so that's, the apartment complex is going to bring more density.
Yeah.
The orientation of the apartment complex is going to be facing MLK, or is it going to be facing
Temple Street?
It is.
So
Okay.
this
Yeah.
is this
Right.
is MLK, so it'll be facing
Right.
Temple
Sorry.
Street.
Yes.
I also met with, and I didn't include it, the City of Tampa Fire Department construction person, and as far as the safety in and out and how we have it laid out, and he did put his blessing on it. So, and I have a letter from him if you want to see that. I also took it that far.
No, I just have general questions. I'm just curious. I just wanted to, those are the couple of things I want to clarify. So thank you.
Yeah.
To add on to your question, Mimi, I am going to provide her a contact with our minority business office here that governs the contractors, the small business
That'd be great.
contractors and the minority contractors, so she can have more options.
And that would be great because I do want to see all options. Obviously,
Yes.
it's expensive. So
yes, because that's one of the things that, you know, I mean, obviously we need the housing, we need stability and sustainability housing. You know, quality of life is everything. And also that community benefit agreement, just, you know, if that construction site can create jobs for the locals, it's a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
So that's typically what our biggest concerns is not, we're not against affordable housing whatsoever. And I love to see those smaller local developers do something like this. It's just a matter of the quality of life, and then if it's going to create jobs, that, you know, it's one thing when you build something, but then what happens after it's built?
And
right?
we're there. My
then,
son is there on site.
Yeah, and that's perfect too, because a lot of times these apartment complexes are built, and then, you know, who is going to maintain the properties, and is maintenance going to be on site when the AC breaks down? Because we've seen lots of these big builds, and people complain, you know, my plumb is not working, things are breaking down. They don't care. They just want to collect rent, and then we never see them again. So it's nice to see that there's locals that are in the community who are invested, because you definitely have a connection, and it's important to you. So thank you.
And just so you know, too, talking with Andrew Scarpanata and Sterling Ridge Properties, they are local to Tampa. That is, I'm not going outside, and they are local. But I would definitely appreciate that once we get the green light.
Thank you for the presentation. I think you answered all our questions. Thank you for answering all of our questions. It was a great presentation. I have two questions. My first is, can you tell us the names and or the types of businesses of those 7 businesses that are going in?
Yes, I'll let my son, we have
Right now, there was a gentleman that just left the gas station next door. He had a takeout restaurant in there. He just signed a lease, plans on being there long term, doing a huge build out as far as the kitchen goes. Right next to him,
it's a deli
store, selling quality furniture, used furniture at highly discounted rates, because I think that's going to make a direct impact. I already see it. I spend about 60 hours a week there on the property. So if you see a gray 4Runner there, please feel free to pull in. Not only will I tell you the story about how it all started, starting back in 1987, but I'll walk you through every unit and tell you exactly what they're doing. But we have a barbershop, we have a beauty school, barbershop, beauty school. We have a discount mattress store that goes hand in hand with the used furniture. We have a convenience store, a cell phone repair store, and that's
Cool. Thank you so much. And my second question is, I'm just curious because I don't see any actual HUD funding being used. We're referencing the HUD income limits and those AMIs. And so I was just wondering, it's just interesting to me. Did you reverse engineer the pro forma to see how low you could go with those rents? Or did you start with?
Yeah, and I have a full pro forma with the actual rents, and what we backed into did not even include what the rents would be for 2027 based on inflation. Yeah. So, and the financial advisor, CPA person is my husband. So he made sure that our numbers worked, even without accounting for those rent standards increasing for whatever they would be for 2027.
Cool.
So that's what we did.
Thank you.
And we own the land, just honestly, we own the land. So there was no outlay for that, but it is of value. I could sell it. And so that was included.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
Okay. I just have one question. Your initial ask was, I believe, 2.5 million, correct? Yes. And the staff recommendations at 1.2, are you comfortable and okay moving forward with the 1.2? I saw that on the pro forma. I just want to make sure and ask that question.
Yes, and that's what we prepared and that's what we are based on. I'm going to be honest that I don't know about other programs that are out there. I don't. So when we went into this, we went into it either selling the property or keeping it and doing something to benefit the community. So when we approached the CRA, it was just based on what the CRA would be willing to give for our program. I see some other presentations. I see all this. I don't even know what they are. The other funding that's available. And so to answer your question.
Wonderful.
No.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Mrs. Klontz, so welcome back. Thank you. I have no questions.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Accept my apologies for having to come back, especially since this committee has awarded funding to folks that is not as deserving as you are. You are local. You have 30 years invested. You could sell this property, but you prefer to give it to the community. You are to be applauded. And quite frankly, in my opinion, we should fund every cent. And I'm going to recommend that we go back to that 2.5, regardless of what the staff recommendation was. And I will go before council or the CRA board. And I will also recommend they give you at least the 3.5, if not the 2.5. I'm sorry that you're having to endure these questions. There have been people before us that have been handed funding on a silver platter, if not gold. Thank you for your hard work, for your dedication, for your willingness to stand here and have to listen to some of these questions. It is reprehensible what I have witnessed with this committee and the funding they have freely given to other developers that are not invested like you. Brava.
Thank you.
I applaud you. Thank you. You are what East Tampa needs.
Thank you.
You and your family and your values. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate those comments.
Yes, hello, and thank you again for a wonderful presentation and really, really detailed information. This went way beyond my expectation in terms of showing out your timeline, your development team, your costs. I was thrilled when I saw this, and I kind of agree with Ms. Henderson that this is sort of the information I feel like we've been lacking, and this is fabulous. So thank you.
Thank you.
And I do want to ask just one question. I think you said it rather quickly, but did you actually pledge your property where the plaza is toward
I'm working with Suncoast and we're going through all the numbers now. And if there's any reason why the Claus properties can't carry that amount, then I would, yes.
Yeah, that's
to answer your question, yes.
And that's also phenomenal. And that's a question I've had with other developers who come who they could pledge other properties, and I never heard about it. Maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. So this is also really thrilling to me. So, and also knowing that you've also already filled your plaza.
Yes. And
Thank
it
you.
took what, Parker, 8?
About a month and a half to 2 months.
Yeah, 8 weeks to fill it. I mean, the tenants are moving in now and we're really excited. And that just shows, you know, the willingness of businesses. And we didn't just put any business in there. We put businesses that are stable businesses. They're going to contribute to, you know, things for the residents. The big one, the Bayshore Beauty Academy, they're going to teach, you know, nails and facials and hair and, you know, work with grants and stuff to get people in there. The deli, I mean, one of the big things where, you know, fresh food, having a place to, you know, they're going to put some tables. It's not going to be a lot, but, you know, to go there and be able to have a meal that, you know, you don't have to buy from the gas station as far as a bag of chips or whatever, like a deli. So, and those are just a couple of the things, but we are very excited about that. And we're really excited that, you know, it's all coming together. I will invite you out Friday if you can, the health hub. Um, I called Advent. They're doing a mobile mammography. I called One Blood. You know, they're going to be out there in the next couple weeks. So I'm really trying to engage with the community.
That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for answering some of those questions. You mentioned quite in your first presentation, I just want to know, how is this going to benefit family? Family. How is it? Because you mentioned about the needing school buses and different things in your very first presentation, but I didn't hear any more about the engagement. How is it going to benefit the church, school, or whatever that?
I mean, other than engaging with them, I mean, pastors here, to give them a place to host their health hub, to partner with them, to do neighborhood cleanups that they do. I mean, I am so impressed with both of the pastors that spoke and their willingness to improve Grant Park. I mean, before I came here, I was picking up trash and debris, and you know, people think of those vacant lots as, you know, a dumping ground, but how it, I can't tell you if it's a direct benefit to
Oh, no, I know you couldn't. I mean, I'm familiar with the church, school in this particular area, and the cleanups and the fundraising events that they've had. But I just noticed that you mentioned it in your very first, when you came to us the very first time. I didn't hear any more about how it was going to benefit or engage the school. But other than that, thank you very much. And is the city, if it's a 50-year plan, I guess I call it rent control. How are we going to be able to monitor that? Because at this rate, for East Tampa residents, this is still high.
We're going to monitor it because it's going to be placed in a funding agreement on how we're going to yearly monitor the rent rolls for the project.
And that's a yearly report? Or
correct. HUD releases their new Florida Housing through HUD releases their new income limits around April of each year. So that'll be the time that we look for that and then make sure that the rents stay under that.
Okay, I follow HUD and I noticed that they're cutting a lot of their programs way back.
Yes.
So I hope that we will be able to, because HUD is coming down along with all the SNAP programs and everything else is being cut currently.
Yeah,
if you're not keeping up with it, as well as housing.
Yeah, the good thing is that these are CRA funds and HUD just regulates income limits.
Great.
Yes, ma'am.
Fran Tate, Jackson Heights. Welcome back, and thank you so very much for your presentation.
You're welcome.
I can support the 2.5 ask only, and I mean only, if you support my good friends of FAMA. I'm a major supporter of FAMA.
I know.
I'll go to bat for FAMA all day and all night. I have been connected with them as a matter of fact, when I served as chair of this fine board, I invited Pastor Johnson in and Miss Nicole, and they presented. I'm always going to support them. I know the fine work they do there, and they continuously keep Grant Park alive and those children. I'll support it only if you remain a partner with them for life.
You have our pledge.
Thank you.
We actually spoke to FAMA even before our last meeting where we presented the first time. So we actually spoke to Pastor. I met with you even before because he wanted to find out who was the owner of the strip center and what were we doing and how can we make it better. And I could have sold the whole lot. But in speaking with Pastor, even before I'm here in front of you, we decided as a family to keep it.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna entrust that she's gonna stay on top of you guys, and I'm gonna trust that you're gonna stay with Family for Life
Yes,
because
ma'am.
those children, they need all the
I
support.
know, I saw
This
him
I see this health hub that you guys are getting ready to have.
Friday.
Yes, I will be there.
Great.
It's all about the health and wealth of our community. That mammography bus, hats off to you. Thank you all for getting that bus in there. And no amount of money can keep cancer awareness, breast cancer awareness, no amount of money. I am a 31-year employee of the Moffitt Cancer Center. If we could have just supported many, many more of our community in pre-diagnosis of breast cancer, it would have helped save so many more that came into our doors and they were stage 3 and stage 4.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have our commitment. We have partnered with Pastor and Anthony and Wanda that was here. I've experienced their summer program. I think they had 80 kids. You know, with Jeremiah is his son. So, you know, this is the real deal. I mean, we are not just in and out and, you know, looking for funding and then we're going to be gone. Our commitment is to stay in the community and to make it better, to make it how it was, you know, when my husband first bought the plaza, you know, 25 years ago.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you again for your presentation, your follow-up, and all of your actionable commitments that you guys have made. We really appreciate that. Just two quick asks, because I do see that we have comments online and we want to make sure that we wrap up here, is your upcoming events and flyers, if we can make sure Mr. McCray gets that information so that that can be shared with us so that we can, you know.
Yeah, we'll get with Veronica.
And then the third party data collection. I know that we only had the 100 or whatsoever submissions, but all and any information directly from the community is important. Can that information also be shared or gotten to Mr. McCray to disperse to us, or however? That's all that I have. Fellas online.
Yeah, just a couple of quick questions. Can we scroll back to the slide that had the development timeline on it? Right there. Okay, so final design and permits. Everything has already been submitted for permits. You've submitted
No,
a
it is
plat.
not. No, it is not.
Okay. Okay. When do you expect that you'll be submitting the plat?
Well, we had to secure the funding.
Waiting on the bank.
So I can't submit until obviously we secure the funding.
Okay, so
Soon
let's
as
say
I
if we
can
vote
secure-
tonight, as soon as you secure funding, and if we were to vote tonight, is the plat ready for submittal?
Not totally, no, sir.
Not totally.
No, there's
Okay.
other things. I mean, I've invested a good deal of money even get it to this point. So it obviously needs to keep investing. If I didn't know what was going to happen here was
Sure.
Okay.
I think just coming from, I have a real estate development background. I work for a real estate developer. I think that this timeline is achievable, but there are significant delays right now on permits and approvals within the city of Tampa. So I would hope that your team is ready to submit as quickly as possible if we were to approve everything tonight once you secure funding so that you can achieve this timeline. Because I do believe, just from experience of working with the city of Tampa just recently on a project, I do believe that this timeline might be delayed a little bit. So I would encourage you to have everything ready for submittal once this committee decides on approving this and once you secure funding from the bank. Those are the only comments I have.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I think he did. He's coming.
Dr. Johnson, were you going to comment?
Yes, I had to get permission Someone
Oh,
had to grant me
okay. Go ahead.
permission to speak. That's how it works.
Yes, sir. Can you talk? You
Yes,
got
I can. I
permission.
was just waiting to be acknowledged.
All righty.
No, I was just going to say thank you so much for your presentation. I think a great deal of the information that we requested, you came back and you submitted that today. Hats off to the diligence of you and your son and what you're doing to help transform that area. I do want to say this is why it's important to have pre-development funds for legacy homeowners, that landowners that may not have the dollars for pre-development as a larger developer would be. Right now, she's cash strapped, so there are some things that she's not able to do. Also, just want to let you know, even if funding does go through tonight, it is a reimbursable item. So the money that you're leveraging from Suncoast will still be important because the money from the CRA comes after you paid, and it is reimbursable. Based on it being approved item that has gone through that. So just want to share that. I think outside of you, so this is for my committee members. Um, the CRA board has made decisions like this tough for us when they vacillate to go beyond the procedures that they have created following the Florida housing parameters of awarding up to $100,000 per unit. And so when they allow things outside of that to be above that, we come back and say, well, why not give people more than what $100,000 will be? I would say for this, while I think this is a great project, I will be inclined to vote for the 1.2 million. And this is the reason why. There are two units that will be at 30%, and there are two units that will be at 50%. The majority of this particular project will be 80% AMI. And so $2.5 million will go into 65% of the construction costs. We do not fund more than 50% of the construction costs. The $1.2 million at what has been approved by state affordable housing statute at $100,000 is great because it's up to $100,000. This is when developers do have to come in with some of those soft costs with capital beyond just owning the land to be able to produce that, because these are taxpayer dollars. So we cannot fund, based on my interpretation of what the parameters have been given, for us to fund the majority of construction costs. So I think the $1.2 million is very much reasonable, especially because the lower units of this project is 30 and 50%. If you have more than 50% of your housing units at 30 to 50%, I would see this being allocated for more than 1.2. But since it's under that amount, that will be my inclination to do $1.2 million. But thank you for answering all of the questions. I think that this project is going to do great in Grant Park, and I hope that we can pass this to support the needs of that community.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move forward with the roll call to vote on the $1.2 million ask. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was Fran Tate, Jackson Heights. I'm going to start with the 2.5, and then we make a motion, and if that dies, if we lose that one, then we go on to the next motion. But it would be loony for me to support 2.5 and then make a motion for the 1.2. So I'm going to make a motion for the 2.5 mil.
I second that.
Okay, it has been seconded by Ms. Henderson.
Roll call. Thank you. Roll call for the motion on the floor of the $2.5 million ask, starting with Ms. Martinez.
Is there any discussion? Yeah, discussion.
Discussion?
Is there discussion? Yes. Ms.
Go
Ziegler,
ahead.
you had discussion? Get your mic.
Thank you. I just want to clarify what Dr. Johnson said, that I believe he was recommending up to the 1.2 million maximum, and that had to do with the HUD parameters. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Yeah, Florida Housing has recommended up to $100,000 per unit. And that is the statute that was also placed into effect in the CRA. And that's why I said I think that the CRA board has done a disservice to our board. Now they're going over what they have initiated in partnership with the Florida Housing to give developers more than $100,000 per unit. So then now that sets a precedence, and then it comes back to us. We would love to fund projects beyond 50% of the construction costs, but that's not what's recommended. So that puts us in a quandary for how do we support developers. We would love to do it, but we also have to think about the pipeline as well as, the statutes that are in place that's recommended for affordable housing of what we give. That's just my opinion on how I interpret that.
What is the legacy contribution? And my understanding is that can go up to 90%.
So the legacy contribution is not established for residential. That's the commercial side.
That is. Okay.
That's going to be in future discussion at a later workshop that's going to be held at CRA board in September. Okay. So that's not right now active.
Okay. And so can we get confirmation that what we're being told by
Mr.
Jeffries is true and accurate?
Just to add to Dr. Johnson's explanation, our CRA process right now is governed by, the only thing that's governing this is the income limits and the initiatives from Florida Housing, meaning we partnered with the Housing and Community Development Department that submits a local housing action plan to the state of Florida that has restrictions on what's the maximum that they're going to provide for subsidy, since we work in partnership for that one point, right? So Florida Housing produces from HUD these income limits. So that's all the income limits that we go off of. Of course, again, there will be a workshop where we can discuss this, but that's what is out. That is legitimate income limits is from Florida Housing. So that's what we put in effect with our CRA process that was approved by the CRA board back in January, where they approved the matrix to follow. The matrix was given as a perimeter on construction costs at that time. And that's what was determined to give that we're not going to fund more than 50% of the project.
So we can't ask for the 2.5 is what I'm hearing. Unless the CRA, we can. So we can make a motion to ask for it. But I want to make sure that we're following policy number one. And number two, I do want to make it clear that we are an advisory committee and the CRA can overrule that, correct, and give them whatever they choose and whatever they see.
Per the matrix, based off of their bedroom setup, they could ask up to 250 per the matrix. Now, this is the matrix, the one that was presented in January of this year. So you can pass that along. I'll have the copy for you guys. This was a perimeter from 250 per unit for 80% AMI.
We're at 33%
she has
now.
12, right?
We're at 33%, so we're not even at the 50%.
250 per unit, but she has 12, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So based off of, there's a couple of things that went into looking into the application, correct? I'm staff.
I got you.
I'm CRA housing staff, B Parks, Community Development Coordinator, okay? So when I look at this, I look at their cost. All of this was based off of several examples, not just from housing. This was outside developers. I have a lot of colleagues in the development community. So with their cost, the average was brought up, and this was what it takes to produce units. And also looking at analysis, which, they look at rent and all of that. But I went for construction costs because that's more tangible at the moment. When you look at gap analysis, some of these projects need more than $6 million. We don't have that in our budget. We don't. As much as you chop and screw it, we don't have that in this budget. So based off of that, construction cost was a tangible cost because that is what I can get a hold of, what it takes to build that unit.
Understood.
Okay.
And that's why you make the regiment. That's why
for 100 per unit, because I'm looking at our current budget and how many applications we had in the queue and the different projects that are going to make a substantial impact in East Tampa. So I look at the strategic plan, I look at our CRP, and I said, this is a project that's in Grand Park, not done before. And the other projects that, I brought forward was not done before. But I looked at that unit creation line item and was like, okay, I can give you 100K per unit, which is still a good amount for a building.
Understood. I just know the last project was only contributing 1.2 million of their own money. Everything else was funded elsewhere. So for me, you've got someone here who owns the land, who's been here forever. I think we should, I totally respect everything that you're doing, that there's a process space, and I am on board 110%. What I also look for, is there exceptions? Is there a way for us to work those numbers? What I hear is we can work those numbers to give her the 2.5 based on that 250 per unit. And that's what I'm hearing. So before we move forward, or before I move forward with anything, I want to make sure that it's legit.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So the motion was made for the 2.5, and we can move forward knowing that that is fair and following process, correct? Perfect. That's really all I needed to know. Thank you so much.
Miss Henderson, I want you to know, because you started your comment by saying, I want to make sure what Mr. Johnson is saying is right. So she did verify what I said was accurate.
Yep.
So I just want that to go on record.
Extenuating circumstances is what I was understanding that we can ask. I don't want to ask for something and it be wrong.
Yeah, I get it. You can ask for anything. I just wanted you to know what I was sharing was based on precedence.
Okay. Couple.
Okay. All right.
Couple
Thanks.
questions here, right? So for B, is this project eligible for a $2.5 million grant from CRA? Our recommendation, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Are we doing the Klontz family a disservice by giving them 2.5 million that we therefore can't follow through because it's deemed to be ineligible or disqualifying?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
I just want to point out that so far we've made recommendations to the CRA. They've chosen to ignore the majority of those. And we, as a CAC, I think have a fiduciary responsibility to look at our budget, as B pointed out, and make recommendations that we can afford to ensure that we're funding as many projects. And I guess that's why I asked the question I asked, is this project still feasible if the staff award number is what we end up with? Because the last thing we need is a lot of money has been modified at council, at the CRA board, to the point where I'm looking at this budget and I'm crunching the numbers, and there are other programs that are going to lose out because 9.7 million, 3.5 million, 1.2 million, 5 million, that we will have to take from other buckets. And so please, let's, when there's a staff recommendation, as much as I'd love to say this is the project to go above the staff recommendation, it's hard because other things are going to lose out.
Can I speak on that one point? So in our memo, the memo I provided, right now as it stands, in the unit creation and conversion line item, this is supported because it's just 400,000 per year that I have to earmark for 3 years for the project. So that's 400K per year. I put it for FY 26, 27, 28 because once, if you guys go ahead and recommend the approval, then it moves on to the CRA board in September and our fiscal year starts in October. So technically, whatever rollover that we'll have, then that could be taken, and it is projected in 26, 27, $28.
But it was the 400, 400.
Correct.
Not necessarily
the more. Correct. Because again, publicly, I look at I want to fund as much as I possibly can that's in that strategic plan that was put together by the East Tampa community. So however I have to slice it up and speak and look at the feasibility of it, that's what we look at. I mean, that's what the community wanted, for us to fund affordable housing projects and to build new and to bring new inventory on deck, that's what's looked at with the current budget.
So this is the problem, right? So this is what we're faced with because we did have a special grants project come before us for $5 million and we voted for 1.5 and CRA gave 5 million. We had another project come before us asking for 5 million and we all unanimously voted for 2.5 million and they got excuse me, point of order, point of order, point of order. And we unanimously did vote because I voted for $2.5 million because my 5 million vote did not pass. And we unanimously as a CAC voted for $2.5 million and they got $3.5 million from the CRA board. We unanimously voted for $1.5 million for the original special grants project ask of $5 million and they got $5 million. And we vocalized that here as a CAC committee because there was no discussion about that. So we all had an opportunity to talk and we were all in agreement that our recommendation was dismissed. Now we have someone who's asking for 2.5 million. So the trend is there. They're going to ask. They're going to ask for the money because the matrix says they can ask. The recommendation is 1.2 million. The problem is we're going to sunset in 10 years. Okay? We got money and we got to spend that money. But we also have to make sure that everybody gets a piece of that pie. I support the 1.2 million. The issue is we do need a process in place. We do need to set a standard because we're going to have more people come to us. $9.7 million was just given away. That's the highest. And we're going to get another ask tonight. And they're going to keep coming. I guess for me, it would be very helpful to know what's coming down the pipeline. Unfortunately, because they're allowed to ask and the matrix says it, and we get a different recommendation from what the matrix allows them to do, and then we only have so much money, it's causing division on the CAC. And that's not good. We work better when we're united. For us to have infighting is it's a bad look. It's a bad look. The CRA is going to do what they feel they need to do. We as a committee need to do what we need to do. My ask is that we stay united and we set a principle for ourselves because that's what we have control over. That's my ask. I will support the 1.2 million tonight.
There was a mic.
Sorry. I don't even know.
Beloved board members, we're working together, and I see that we're working together. We all have our own various opinions. We know we make a decision, but what happens downtown is what's going to happen. We are not infighting. We are displaying passion, some of us. I'm like maybe a low-key passion. Maybe some people are a little bit up-key passion. Sometimes I'm middle-key passion, but we are not fighting. We're not fighting. We're just displaying passion. They will decide, as you stated. They will decide. So let us not stress out over this. Let us just serve as an advisory board, which is our mission, our purpose, and then we move forward. Thank you.
Okay. One more comment, and then we're gonna go ahead and do a roll call.
Okay, we can do, okay. I agree with everything that's being said, but let me give you an example of what was said tonight that'll tie it all together. At the last city council meeting, a presentation was made and they went there, and it seems like some of the larger projects are bypassing us and going right to city council.
Yes.
At city council, they darn near guaranteed them, and then the presenter said they didn't want the money piecemeal and broken up. They wanted the 5 or whatever their request was in one payment. So when you see a developer go down and get the okay from the city, not these people here, but from the county, and ask and tell them what they want, and all you see is nodding heads, and then the presentation comes to us afterwards. I think that's a disservice to the board and the people that sit here and spend 2 and 3 hours at a time to do the right thing, the fair thing. And we say affordable housing, low income housing, but how many apartments and units, not reflecting on anybody directly, are we going to have versus families with homes that need housing, not 10 and 20-story buildings and rent that is going to be vacant in 6 months? You've got units on 21st. They haven't been up there 2 years and people are already putting them up for sale and their houses. So some kind of way we've got to be, as stated, we got to work as a team, but let's be honest about who's pushing what and what we're pushing for and what we're asking for, because we're sitting here and there's others above us, other that are downtown, that are making their own decisions or have made their own decision. So why are we even wasting our time?
Don't stress.
Thank you.
Can I say something? When you said we are going to ask, we filled out a form as far as what we thought would be fair, whether it's 100,000 or 175,000 or 200 or 250. I am no way a political person. I didn't hire somebody to help me write this and present it to be. I would no more know to go to anybody on city council to go above anything. If you choose to give us the 1.2, we're grateful. If you choose to give us 1.5, we're grateful. The procedure, other than going in front of B and her recommendation, is what we're going to follow. The fact that it passes here and then we go to city council, honestly, I wasn't even quite aware of that.
That was an example, but not.
That was just an example.
Right. So I just want to let you know, whatever you choose, whether it's 100 or 150, we're grateful. The residents of Grant Park and everybody that came are grateful. It is not our intent to go above anybody and ask for any more. 250,000 was put because that's just what we put.
But no, that was just, not to interrupt you and to make it clear with the board, that was not directed to anyone.
No, I understand.
We have people that have gone to the county first, asked for money, and then they come to us after the fact, and you go to the city, they get what they want. And then they put us like in the spotlight as if to say, well, oh no, we don't want to give it all at one time. Mm-hmm. And it's like we're overruled. So what are we doing here if we're not getting the respect as a body?
Well, you have my respect, and I haven't asked anybody else for any money.
And as we referred to our project as a homegrown project, we've owned this land for 30 years, 25 plus years. We're not here to beg for money. We're not here to bully anybody into giving us money. As my mom said, we're grateful for the 1.2, the 1.5.
It wasn't a personal hit. I've owned my land and my family for 100 years. Now, what am I getting? I'm not asking, I'm not directing it to you all. I'm just explaining myself to the entire board as to what everybody has said collectively behind this table, or what we are faced with.
Right.
We want to see it.
With all due respect, we got a motion on the floor. With all due
I
respect.
think the motion's been made and seconded, so I'd ask that we do the roll call now.
Thank you for everyone's time and commitment. We're going to go ahead and deal with the motion that's on the floor so that we can go ahead and wrap this up. So we'll do the roll call.
You restate the motion? Yes, restate the motion.
Yes, so this is the motion for the ask of the, go ahead, restate.
I'm going to restate my motion for 2.5 million for the project.
Okay. And then we'll come around this way. So Ms. Martinez, is there a second? Second. Already second. Yeah. Okay. Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Ms. Lazarus?
Yes.
Ms. Hedlund?
Yes.
Mr. Carrington?
Yes.
Ms. Henderson?
Yes.
Ms. Ziegler?
I'm gonna vote no because I'm still a little bit confused about the dollar amounts, and I don't want the confusion that happened on CRA board. I agree. So I'm gonna vote no. Ms. White?
Um, yes.
Yes. Mr. Costa, yes. Online, sorry.
Online, Dr. Johnson.
I'm a vote yes because B gave the matrix and it expanded it so the project can receive more. And so I'm going to support it.
Thank you. And Mr. Carlos De La Hosa.
I vote yes.
Motion passes.
Motion passes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Just to add on, I just want to add on, we're going to have it's going to be announced soon, a housing workshop in September, where this is the first public one that the CRA board will be there. And it's of course open to the public. Everyone comes. They're going to have an open discussion about this process moving forward due to the conversation that took place last or was it 2 weeks ago or a week ago about the process for subsidy and making sure that we can fund multiple projects. So that will be happening in September. So please attend and give feedback so we can revamp this. As you know, the CRA housing division is a newly created division. So the more we could cultivate it, move it forward is it will help out tremendously. So I'm moving on with the next project. So the next presentation, I'm going to call CDC representation from CDC of Tampa for the Reimagined Lake in 29th, Heritage Heights at 29th. They have submitted a request for funding in amount of $5 million. This project is going to yield 79 units. They range from the 40 to 60% of the area median income. So again, when you see those income charts there, that can help you know what's the maximum rent that's allowable for those units. So yes, representative, whoever's coming up. Is that it? Whoever.
Well, good evening, board. We are truly excited to stand before you today. My name is Ernest Coney Jr., the CEO of the CDC of Tampa. This project has been a project of passion and of love. As a young kid in high school doing drug marches up and down Lake and 29th Street, thinking about what it could be, and now as an adult to understand the history and the importance of Lake and 29th Street, having hospitals, physician offices, the first Black dentists, pharmacies, and housing there, what that could mean. So we're really excited about reimagining Lake and 29th Street. We have Vanessa McCleary with us, who's our real estate director. We have Will Crawford, who's our general contractor. And we also have a representative from WUDA, Malik Jordan.
Good evening. Click this. All right. So our project, Lake and 29th, as you can see, is in the heart of East Tampa. And one of the things that we have noticed when looking around the city, there's a lot of destination locations that are popping up all over, but we still need one in East Tampa. And so Heritage Heights on 29th is the project that we are proposing. This project, like Ernest says, is one that the organization, it's where they got their roots, where they started. They have been a part of this community for over 33 years. We've developed housing, we've developed commercial, we've developed multifamily. We've had an economic impact in Tampa of over 750 million, and we continue to do the work of the community, trying to meet the community needs. This is just an example of some of the multifamily housing that we have developed, which is a total of 649 units. We've also done commercial. We helped to bring Fifth Third to the community, Suncoast Credit Union, Excuse me, in the back, any chatter we can actually hear. We want to make sure that we can hear the presentation, so if we can keep those to absolute quiet and minimal.
So we've developed over 190,000 square feet of commercial space. This is the area that we are talking about, Lake and 29. This is a project that has been in the works for a while. Over the last 3 years, we've acquired quite a bit of the land for a total of $2.8 million. One of the reasons for acquiring the land that we originally talked about this project with the city was we wanted to control the narrative. So one of the properties that we acquired was the historic hospital where many African Americans were born.
Lily White.
Lily White, yes. The Lily White Hospital. These are some of the other parcels. In this one, they were actually running a casino. And it was problematic for the neighborhood, so we were able to acquire and close that down. So we are looking to redevelop the heart of East Tampa. We have partnered with Wood Cooper Companies. The reason that we partnered with them was one of the things that we really liked. They wanted to come into Florida. They also own and operate their properties. They are a full service company, so they have architects on staff. They have construction crews. This property, because it's not in Ohio, they will actually be using local construction companies. So this is a rendering. We are still working with them on the final design of the project, but you can see the blocks. This is the first phase of a multi-phase project. One of the things that we wanted to do in this first phase was bring more housing into the area, bring more people into the area to help sustain the commercial development that we hope to follow. In this particular one, you see this commercial space on the first floor, and you see it here. We are actually hoping that we can bring a grocery store into the area. Amen. And that will allow, because we want to have this as a walkable community. We will be developing a total of around 79 units. We're still going through some of the architectural renderings and working with the city in terms of the site plan, so that unit count may change a little, but we should be close to that. As you can see, these will be affordable to families at 40 and 60% AMI, so working families can afford. The rent you see for the 40% AMI would be $712 a month, yes. At 60% AMI, it'd be $1,042. So one of the things we know in Tampa is that we do need affordable rental units, and these are affordable to families, again, at 40 and 60% AMI. And those are HUD numbers, which says no more than 30% of their income going towards housing. Mm-hmm. The units will be about 750 and 950 square feet. You can see you have a nice size unit, 1 bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, living room, 2 bedroom, same. This is the construction budget. We're looking at a $32 million project. The hard construction costs are about $20 million. In terms of our financing, we'll have a first mortgage, a second mortgage. We are going after LIHTC funding through the state, so not through the federal government, but through the state funds at $22 million. We're asking for $5 million in CRA funding, which is 15% of the budget. So at a $5 million request, that works out to about $63,291 per residential unit. And again, this project is a mixed use project. We are not asking for any funding on the commercial side. In terms of the impact, you're getting 79, oh, I forgot to change those numbers. 79 affordable units, 5,000 square feet of commercial space, should create about 150 construction jobs, 20 to 30 permanent jobs because of the commercial spaces that will be developed. It will increase the tax base, and we're hoping that with this project, we're not only going to be creating those structures, but we also do want to honor the history. So we're looking for how we can incorporate art and murals into the development. It is consistent with the strategic plan, hitting 4 of the goals: promote mixed use and affordable housing development, increasing housing options, revitalizing vacant and underutilized land, and advancing economics. We did in our application cite where those could be found in the strategic plan. Also looking at the community redevelopment plan, we're hitting 6 of the areas: affordable and workforce housing, corridor and node revitalization, economic development and job creation, increase in the tax base, transportation and infrastructure, and neighborhood preservation. With the CRA coming to an end, we feel like it is really a critical time to create a destination location in East Tampa, and that is what this project is designed to do. It is our hope that after this phase, we will come back and we will start developing the commercial. We've already started talking with businesses who are interested in relocating into the area. We have the site control. We've started on the preliminary planning. We've already started looking at the infrastructure requirements. We've been meeting with the city. Our plan has been submitted. And now we are just asking for the funding through the CRA. And I'll be happy to answer any questions. And I have the team here to help me if I can't answer.
Thank you for your presentation. We'll start with you, Mimi, in regards to just going around for questions and comments to make sure that everybody is heard.
I don't have anything yet.
My question's for you. What? No. It's okay. Where is the money? What pots of money are we using to fund the $5 million?
It's going to come from the unit creation and conversion 2026 dollars that are going to be allocated, and our East Tampa continuous projects and the neighborhood infrastructure line item that we have.
Okay. That's it. Thanks.
I just want to say thank you for your presentation. It's really, really nice to see 2-bedroom units being the majority of the mix, and knowing that young families from East Tampa can stay in East Tampa.
Okay, I have 2 questions, but they're for B. Can we afford this ask of $5 million?
Yes.
Okay, and we do have the money for it, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. We appreciate your time. It was very well put together. I love the fact that you said that you may incorporate a grocery store or some time of a market, I would assume, not necessarily a grocery store. I heard murals. You're speaking my language when we start talking about using local artists, especially East Tampa local artists. So bravo to all of you. Thank you.
I'm excited by the project, and I don't have any questions at this time either.
Thank you so very much for your presentation. I'm looking at the design. And I know 29. The front, I know you said you're working on the design. So you're working with the developer. Okay. Can you kind of like put that slide back up, please? I guess number, was it 15? 15? Yes, there.
Yes.
Is that the back? Is that the back of the
Where's Lake and where's 29th on there?
So this is 29 coming this way.
correct?
Okay. And this is technically the back, but this is part of what we have asked the architect to go back and to change so that the building is oriented towards 29.
Okay, did you all hear what she said? Say it one more time.
Sorry. I gotta have this. Hold on. We are working with the architect because we want the building oriented towards. So most people, when you get out of your car, you want to go into the front of the building. And so that's why the front is the parking lot, which is behind. What we are asking them to do is create a corridor and put doors along 29th because we want to activate the street. This is a project that is about activating the area, and we want it to be a walkable community like some of the other ones that we see. And so it's important that we have doors coming out onto 29, because we want people, when you get home, yes, park your car in the back, leave it in the back, and then walk up and down the street. We hope to have restaurants, we hope to have a doctor's office, other amenities that people will want to get to.
I love it. Make sure you put a little dog park. Now, you know I love my dogs now. I rescue dogs. I love my dogs. If I get one of those, I want to take my little dog on outside to the little park now. So if you got a little extra space, put a little dog park back there, please. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time and your presentation. This is a very exciting project on a large scale, and we need to see things on a larger scale in East Tampa. Quick question, because I know we talked about 79 units and we talked about some mixed use, because that's kind of more or less where things are moving towards.
Yeah.
Can you guys elaborate? I know that we talked about a couple possibilities. How much mixed use units will be available within the project? Do we know yet, or are we just too soon to discuss that?
A little too soon. In this phase, we have 5,000 square feet. So we've got the grocery store, and then in two of the other buildings, there is some smaller spaces. Wait,
So
there we go.
notice where the red is, that's where the commercial.
Oh, okay, what a red is. Okay, so I see those. Okay, so and each building would basically have. So phase one would consist of.
This is phase one.
Okay.
And then we are still acquiring some other properties in the area because we would like to bring some restaurants into the area.
Okay.
Perfect.
Oh, cost of living.
Okay. Just to address the grocery store, I don't know how many of you live in this area or know the history of East Tampa, but for years we have tried to get a grocery store here. We had the land, which was to be where 21st and 22nd was. We had been through Publix, we had been through all the grocery stores, and at that point we were only able to fit a Trader Joe. That's what was supposed to go there. And the mayor at that time decided to give that land away and $1 billion. Yeah. And the only thing that we can seemingly get into East Tampa are these individual small overpriced grocery stores. So you may want to revisit that thought plan, because for years we have been trying to get a grocery store over here. And the only ones that survive are the mom and pops, and they're overpriced for the neighbors that live in that area. Thank you.
Do we have any comments online or questions?
I can't say anything. I have to abstain from this vote because this is my place of employment, but I am grateful that my fellow committee members have read through the information and you hear of the work that we do every day. So this is not just one project that we're working on. And not for sure if Ernest feels comfortable to talk about the grocery store, project, but there are also conversations that are already in place, to make this happen for the community. So I just think it's a great project, but I will abstain from the voting.
That is correct. Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Carlos, did you have any comments or questions?
No comments. Your questions answered the questions that I had. So all good. Thank you.
So
you ready now for your question?
I don't have a question, but this is, I like that the scale is in line with what the residential neighborhood is currently right now.
It's very intentional, and we need more of the smaller developments. This is a mid-level development instead of those big box ones that have 200, 300, 400 apartments. That just becomes just overwhelming. And this is a perfect example of what that neighborhood commercial corridor is supposed to be. So, and we need pockets of that in each of the neighborhoods. So this is a perfect example. This is actually something that's written in the future land use, is they're really trying to market this and also bring in the transportation. So all of it is coming together. But I do appreciate that it's a mid-level because, having these big high-rise 400 apartments, I don't know about that. I have mixed feelings. I like the lower level, the smaller and mid-level development. So thank you.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, I'd like to make a motion.
Do we have a second?
Yeah. She's this is the first day. She'll get into the groove. I know how I was when it was my I I'd like to make the motion that the $5 million ask for the Heritage Heights be granted. Is it
Second. Okay. I'll second the motion.
Ms. Henderson is second?
All right, so then we'll go ahead and do a roll call, and we'll start with you again, Ms. Martinez, and work our way around the room.
Yes. Ms. Lazarus?
Yes.
Ms. Headley? Mr.
Yes.
Carrington? Ms.
Yes.
Henderson? Ms. Ziegler?
Yes.
Ms. White?
Yeah, the city council's already approved it, yes.
Ms. White?
Affirmative.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank
yes,
you.
yes.
Ms.
Okay.
Tate?
Affirmative. Y'all already down there.
Yes, and then, yes for Mr. Costa?
Carlos online,
Yes.
the motion carries. Thank you for your presentation.
Congratulations.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move along with our agenda so that we can wrap up today. If we can move forward with our staff reports, you guys should have those all included in your packet. And Mr. McCray, you have an update or report for us?
Good evening, Cedric McCray, East Tampa CRA Manager and Tampa CRA Director. You have the monthly updates in your agenda packet. One thing that I would like to with your agenda that was at your seat is the quarterly newsletter. It came out shortly after our June meeting, but wanted to make sure that you're aware of it, and you may have received it electronically as well. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. And then also I had the property management company at Madison Highlands. They're right off of Hillsborough Avenue, I believe 37th. They are now leasing. They have a second tower that's going up. So the information was provided on the table. And with that being said, we can move on to new business.
Do we have any other new business? Any new business, anybody?
I'd like to make a suggestion. That presentation that the Tampa CDC did was so thorough. Perhaps that could be given to others as an example of the things that we expect to see in a presentation.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good.
Agree.
I agree.
Thank you. Any other new business?
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
I appreciate this quarterly newsletter because we hear a lot of comments how we're not holding the CRA accountable and how
we don't have proof that things are moving and that we're following the CRP and that we're not having any metrics or reports to hold things accountable. This right here, this is how we show what we're doing. And that yearly, that annual report, that is what we're showing that we're doing. And so that is how we're holding all of ourselves accountable. So this year, at the end of this year, when it comes out next year, we're going to see in there the heritage, everything we just approved should be in that annual report. So we can start showing what we are doing and that we are moving and we are following the CRP, and this is proof of that.
It helps if we can get it to boots on the ground to the people that are actually living in the neighborhood. This is nice. This is a lot of money for a color presentation, but it's getting it to the people that don't come to the meetings, that don't online, that are not, you all know what I'm talking about. Right. We got to do a better job of getting it on the ground.
Yeah, so I'm gonna so I have these printed at our East Tampa location, so TPD District 3. And then We are in the future, you know, the conversations have been taking place recently about a communications agreement that is moving forward. So there's going to be multiple ways that this is going to be disseminated throughout the community soon. Okay. But if you want a printed copy, you can come by the East Tampa location. Anyone that wants it, it'll be out there in the front because I'm getting more. Okay.
Go ahead, Ms.
I
Heather.
just have one question. There's been a lot of funds allocated. And I know we had a budget meeting to look at 20, 25, 26 dollars. Is there at this point, based on everything that either council has allocated or this board has recommended, are we still okay, or are we going to have to start reallocating funds based on that draft budget that we looked at?
So currently, because this body made the recommendation to adjust funds from the remainder of FY25 to affordable housing initiatives, I think we're okay. We're on solid ground. One of the things that we've had conversations with the board members, and Ms. Parks and I actually just met this past Friday to talk about a listing. So not only would you get your regular budget, and which can be somewhat cumbersome if you're not as familiar with it, but where we're listing out the specific allocations that you all have voted on and that have been passed by the CRA board with the fiscal year and the amount, so moving forward. So when we're coming to look at FY27, we know, hey, this is what we have left in the kitty. Correct.
Thank you.
Excuse me,
Manager, Director McCray. Did I hear you state at the CRA meeting that we have now allocated 42% toward down payment assistance from the East Tampa CRA?
Actually, it was 46.1% is what was recommended from this body. I believe we had to, when we were reviewing, we were trying to get up to 50%. Remember, we had a few special call budget workshops, then we didn't get quorum on maybe one or two of them, but I believe the date was May 27th when we had that conversation, and we were able to land at 46.1%.
From the East Tampa CRA?
Yes.
Are any of the other CRAs going to match?
No, ma'am, not that I'm aware of. The standard policy set by the board for the CRAs that financially could afford that would be the 30%. And you all felt that we needed to go higher because that is a priority. And I also support that as the manager and director because I understand that we have allocations or requests that are going to be coming before this body related to housing initiatives and requests. I talked about the down payment assistance program. We just reprogrammed another $500,000 that was approved last Thursday. Ms. Parks is now telling me those funds have all been encumbered by HCD. So we may be having conversations about finding some additional money to do that at a later date. But yeah, so we're rocking and rolling as it relates to affordable housing initiatives and allocations. And I'm signing off on things almost daily for first-time home buyers and down payment assistance.
And I really appreciate that. I had the privilege to meet one of my recipients of the $100,000 home owner occupied renovation. Now her story is she just needs a place for her and the family to reside in until the project is completed. But I just thank everybody for that. I met one of the recipients.
Okay, so my comments for Mr. McCray. I think your vocabulary is too advanced for me. I graduated from Hillsborough, so regarding the annual budget. So did you say that we have a running tally? Because if not, I think we probably are overdue for a budget reconciliation meeting to figure out where we are.
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Yeah, so we have one. Okay, and that will be presented because I look at that budget every day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. In addition to that, I just want to piggyback off of Ms. Tate's comment about owner occupied rehab, right? You see in the line item, we do have a substantial amount, but I just want to briefly educate the CAC because you guys are the boots on the ground. The CRA board is a 30,000-foot glance when I go through process. We have several steps to help these homeowners. Testing phases that we have to encumber through a PO for just the testing. Okay. Now, when we wait for those results, testing is lead, base paint, any environmental issues, any mold that we encounter through the walkthrough. That's what we have to encumber at that time. And then based off of those results, we then write up the scope of services for that unit, for that home. We have to have that come to Jesus conversation with some homeowners and say, hey, based off of these results, we have to abate this lead. We have to take care of this first prior to redoing a couple of things that you wanted, right? So those are the conversations we have. Then we agree, the contractor explains all of this, and we go to the closing table. Once they close at that closing table, which they sign the closing agreement, they agree to all the terms. At that point in time, that homeowner still has 3 days. It's called the right to rescission period, that they could say, hey, I don't even want to go through this anymore. And we walk away. Hey, I had someone come to my office today and say, hey, so again, we have that conversation. At that point in time, once they give me a formal agree, I have to hear from them and say, yes, I want to continue on. I will then hand that off to open another purchase order for the full amount of the rehab at that point. So when you don't see activity, what I'm going to provide you is a running count of what I have in my pipeline. So hey, if you don't see it on the expenditures, it's going to be encumbered, but I cannot encumber until I know exactly what I have to do to that home at that point in time. So that's where, that conversation, I just want to briefly say that conversation that, oh yeah, we have rollover money. We don't. When I provided, we only have like 400,000 that at 9:30 this year, our fiscal year ends at 9:30, only 400 is going to roll into that owner occupied rehab line item because all of that is going to be encumbered with all of the projects we have going on. So this is, work in progress. This division only been created from April, but when I tell you, I and my staff have been boots on the ground to make sure that the most successful programs that we have are homeowners that are people who are from East Tampa and have invested their time, their effort, and their money in East Tampa, and that's through that owner occupied rehab program. So you guys, when you further look at that budget and say, hey, how can I relieve some money? Don't take it from the owner occupied rehab line item.
And I'll say this in closing.
I still need to say something.
As we get
What do you mean in closing?
cooler, I've shared with Ms. Parks that as we have some of these projects and these rehab grants, and Ms. Tate just shared that she encountered someone in down payment assistance. I know Mr. Carrington has seen one that we're trying to assist with housing rehab. We plan to have some more public facing events. Some people aren't as comfortable because but as we have those, we will try to let you all know in advance, and we want you to be there to participate. We will have the board members there because this is a big deal. We are investing a ton of dollars in housing rehab. So when we hear individuals in the community say that things are not happening, you may not notice the new roof that you drove by, but it's done. Okay. And Ms. Parks and her team are working really hard, and we're doing the same, level of work on our commercial grants and our special projects. So just know that it's coming. And as we have some future dates to do some ribbon cuttings and photos, we will let you know as quickly as possible once it gets cooler.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
No, thank you, Mr. McCray. All right, so that should be all. Oh, Miss Henderson, I'm so sorry. You're right.
I just have two things. So I'm really trying to educate myself with the CRAs and the CAC. I need a little education on RFP waivers and how it pertains to any of the projects we've currently done, if they exist, if we've done them, if they've gone before the board. I don't need that information today, but I'd love to get more information about RFP waivers. The other thing I want to talk about, I don't know if it's necessarily new business, and Cedric, you may have to help remind me because I am getting older. 60 in a month. Be quiet. Memorial Park Cemetery. I remember a rendering that I saw in a meeting with Memorial Park Cemetery, much like Oak Lawn, I think, right? Similar. So I heard there was funding. Can we revisit that, please?
Yes.
And as a committee, I'd love your support for that cemetery. I think it's the only cemetery we have in the CRA boundary. But I'd really love for us to revisit that and see what we can do there. Fencing, I was unaware of fencing. I've already actually put in a request to the Parks Department with my other hat on. I had my other hat on when I did that. And again, if there's any leftover funding, if we could look into helping whatever needs to be done. I'm worried about paving, and I want to just put this on the record. You may or may not know, I have done extensive research. There are 15,000, 15, unaccounted for, 15,000 unmarked graves at that location. So paving.
It's not to change the when I say paving, the entrance in and out.
Okay.
Funeral cars have to come in and go out. It's a challenge.
Okay.
Not expanded or anything. Just
I got you.
level it out.
I got you.
We got already existing.
Understood. It's existing. Okay. So if there's any type of funding, I would really, because I think we allocated funds specifically to the cemetery, if I'm not mistaken, or you asked us to budget it as historic restoration. Is that correct?
No,
I thought it was
it is a line item under section 9 of your budget.
Okay.
It's historic preservation, and within that there is a operating budget for Memorial Park Cemetery.
Right on. Yeah.
Can you show us the plans that Ms. White was referencing?
Yes, I think
the sign,
access.
the Memorial Park.
Yes.
Okay. I would love for us to do that. Thank you all for your time. Thank you.
I just want to double check. I thought that cemetery was inactive, like no new burials. When you said something about funerals driving in and out.
You know, but when they bring the hearse in, that's a heavy car, and those roads are not even. That's what I was talking about. Just leveling. Oh yeah. Every Saturday, and even during the week sometime. Oh, one last comment. Could we make these reports the print a little bit bigger? Because I didn't bring my magnifying cup and glasses with me. You know, anything that we have to come out with a little bit bigger, you know, I'd appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. McCray.
Yes, ma'am.
I believe that should be all new business. Announcements. Moving along to that, our next CRA board meeting is August the 21st at 9 a.m. Okay, quickly.
I would love to invite all of you to.
GPS signal lost.
Oh, well, I didn't know I was going anywhere. To the Cemetery Society is having its first membership meeting. I'm really excited. I started this back in 2021 and never in a million years, and I think it would become what it's become. So I would love for all of you to join us. It will be at St. Peter Claver. Cedric did secure that for us. He was having some trouble getting a venue, but he stepped in and he saved the day for us. We are going to have food. I have a friend, Vaedo. She's making us the cubanitos and empanadas. I'm going to make a charcuterie, but it's a 2-hour event. You don't have to stay the whole time. I do have 11 guest speakers secured. Still waiting for Mr. McCray to confirm or not. He would make 12. But we have some really good people that are going to be there. Florida Public Archaeology Network is going to be there. The Public Library Supervisor, she's going to be there. College Hill Cemetery, the woman who single-handedly got the marker for that cemetery. It's just a laundry list of people that are going to be there that give 2 to 3 minutes and share with all of you how they impact Tampa's historic cemeteries, and it includes national impact as well. So open invite. I hope to see all of you there. August 16th, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
10 to 12.
Yeah.
And that's in the hall, correct, Mr. McCray?
Mr. Who?
Oh, I forgot, Mr. McCray, thank you for the meeting tonight. Mr. Carrington, thank you for securing St. Peter Claver.
He did. He saved the day.
Wonderful.
Any other announcements? No? Okay. No, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, next CRA board meeting is August the 21st at 9 a.m. And our next CAC meeting is going to be September at 6 p.m. here. That is it. And we are adjourning. Thank you very much.
Good job, Ebony. Good job.
Oh, yeah.
Good job. Good night, everyone. Oh, everyone, August is Black Business Support Month, not to exclude any other community, but there are a lot of small businesses that are in African American communities. So do your best to support them. They need you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Have to get up at Colonel. You know what it's like to get up at 4 o'clock